Jamie Savage, and I created Between Two Yetis, where we take our Yeti coolers all around the world and meet people from all walks of life to learn what it is that gets them out of bed. Our aim is to show the humanity in the world by giving people the opportunity to share their story. This is Nelson Dellis. He's a 4-time USA memory champion and runs a charity called Climb for Memory, where he raises awareness of Alzheimer's disease by organizing climbing expeditions up some of the world's greatest mountains. We decided, why not take the show up a mountain on one of his next trips? So we worked out how to strap them to our backs, got together some friends, and flew out to Kilimanjaro. This is our adventure climbing to the roof of Africa. And we are back between two yetis on day 3 of the Kilimanjaro special with Aubrey
Ryder. Aubrey Reindeer.
Aubrey Reindeer, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very good. You just got lost on a cliff, didn't you?
I wasn't lost at all. I knew exactly where I was.
Lost in your own thought, in your own world.
I was.
Yeah. So, where should we start? How do you know Nelson? Yeah, how do you know Nelson?
Well, how do I know Nelson? The year was 2009.
Is this a story? Okay.
I mean, isn't anything a story?
No, everyone else is just like, well, I sort of met him at a bar, sort of did it. No, nobody's got...
No, I actually know the year I met him because it was my freshman year of college. And
Is that your first year?
yeah.
Okay.
And his younger brother was on my freshman floor.
Nelson's got a brother?
Yeah, Spencer.
Right. And he's got a sister?
Yep, Jen. I actually have a little kitty cat on a keychain from Jen with me. Yeah.
Is his brother like Nelson?
In some ways, yes. Sometimes his mannerisms make me think of Spencer when he's talking. But Spencer is like this ultimate frisbee, like piano video game song playing. He's just like a cool dude in a different way. I've never seen Spencer hike, so different in that way, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, sorry, continue.
But no worries.
And he's ginger?
No, Spencer's more like blonde.
Okay, more like the sister.
Yeah.
All right.
But we were playing, this is how I met Spencer. We were playing Apples to Apples, you know, the game where you like match something or somebody wins if somebody else has the same sense of humor. It's like one of those like Cards Against Humanity.
Okay.
And Spencer and I just kind of hit it off. And Nelson was the cool older brother who came to visit his younger brother at college and took us to the movies. And that's how.
Ah, okay. See, that's something I didn't know about Nelson.
Yeah.
Blimey. So, I know a little bit about you now. So where were you born?
I was born in the United States.
So you got US citizenship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you didn't grow up here, did you?
Nope. The family is kind of split between Denmark and here and Scottish heritage on my dad's side.
Okay.
Little blend of all things north.
All things north. And you're not really, you're not a girly girl, are you?
No.
You're almost like the polar opposite of...
I've never been at risk of being a girly girl.
Never been.
Can't you tell I'm so at home here?
Yeah. Aubrey's one of the few people who's actually had a full night's sleep since we actually got into the tent.
I sleep better in a tent.
How do you not roll down?
Well, are you sleeping in clothing?
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, well, it's usually better if you shed down, like to your underwear or something, and maybe just your, like, skin against the bag is more, like, it holds better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Insider tip. Also, the way you stay warm is the air pocket, so
yeah.
If you let more around.
Oh, I'm learning all these new things. Now, the sky is cleared.
Oh my gosh,
and
look
there
at
it
that.
is. Well, that's not it. It's behind that, and it's much fucking higher than that. But that's a little bit of it. And we're already out. I forget how this watch works, but we're already at 12,500 feet here. So really it's only another 7,000.
Yeah, only that much. It's fine. That'll be a cakewalk.
The day of the park.
Yeah. So we just have to go up that and then around and up.
And I'm going to run it tomorrow. So
Great.
You're at university now,
Yes.
studying.
Psychology.
That's right. And it's not psychology though, is it? It's psychology with a twist.
Neuropsychology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is.
So I'm more interested in kind of the neural mechanisms themselves. Like I don't want to end up in a therapy chair every day in a clinic being like, tell me about your depression today.
How depressed on the scale of 1 to 10?
Exactly. It would just, that to me is not a challenge and it wouldn't engage me.
So you want to go deeper into the science or the
science?
Not so much the diagnosis then.
No, diagnosis is part of that. It's a blend of the two. It's recognizing that you need to look to the science but also the person and to see the whole picture.
Okay. This brings up the whole nature versus nurture debate we were having a couple of nights ago.
Because so many people, there's all those flashy news articles like the schizophrenia gene or this genetic component. And it gives people the idea that if you have a certain gene, you have that disorder. And that's not the case. Like you said, this is nature and nurture. It's what you're genetically expressing. So talking to people to see what in their life is facilitating whatever symptoms they could be having, in addition to maybe the science behind it, what's going on.
Okay. So I could be a psychopath and not be exhibiting symptoms.
I mean, I've known you for a few days now. You might be.
Right. It's one of those things that, what do they say? All the top CEOs in the world are psychopaths.
Yeah, and I actually read, what book was that? The one that was saying like all presidents and politicians and the brightest minds have that gene. And that's another thing that just makes me uncomfortable because you're saying that personality is genetically coded, and I completely reject that.
Huh. Is there a truth to, when people are talking to their kid in the womb, that early?
I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, the type of person that would care enough to try and nurture their child while it's still in the womb, isn't there a bias there that when they're born, they're already in a loving home or something that would raise them differently?
The thing I find amazing with the world, to drive a car, you need a license. To have a gun, you need a license. To have a kid, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
And most of the world's problems seem to be caused by people with a lack of foundation. You read Freakonomics?
I haven't read it, no.
So one of the theories there is that the murder rate in the United States took a dive in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was nothing to do with the mayor was saying, we've got more police officers. What it was back to the acceptance of abortion in America. So because poor income families had access to abortion, the kids that were going to be born into those families and weren't wanted and then were going to go into the welfare system and go into, what do you call it? Not adoption, but...
Foster care?
Foster care. They were going to be the criminals 20, 30 years in the future. They weren't born. And so it's a fascinating look at... This is what's great about the Freakonomics, because it's a completely different way of looking at the problem or the solution that's presented to you. And the guys who wrote it are geniuses. They were looking at how sumo wrestling fights are rigged and how the whole system is based on this whole internal structure and that. But it was just going back to the whole... I lost my train of thought now. Where was I going?
I really don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so that was...
Were you tying this to nature and nurture?
Yeah, because I think it's a major thing that so many people have kids and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I mean, I'm a first timer here, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I'm learning it from watching other people and stuff like that. But they might be doing it wrong. And this is basic stuff. If I'm bringing a child up in the world, and you've got a certain peer group, you're basically just mirroring the bad behaviours of your peers. Yeah. So why it's in schools why aren't we taught decent skills? Maybe that's my brother and I have this as a major bugbearer. Why aren't you at school? Why aren't you taught basic accounting? How to get a mortgage, how to fix a car, how to get a loan for a car, all these things. Instead of just going now to YouTube to learn how to do shit, why isn't there more of an educational system to bring the nurture aspect, if it is that important?
No, it's a great question, and
thank God you interrupted me. I was on a rant then.
Because I think schools assume that your parents are covering those bases, that they're doing
most
a
of the time
good
they're not.
job. And yeah, you're right, they aren't. And it's sad to see, because especially right now when I started my training, my initial year of therapy was with college students. And
at what age?
So 18 to 21 was about the age bracket that I was seeing regularly.
And they were born at when? Like 90... 95, 96?
Yeah, around there.
Okay, so they've never experienced anything other than the internet?
Basically.
Okay.
And you think that maybe when they don't understand how to do something, that would be a resource. But time and time again, I'd be seeing these kids in session, and I'd be explaining simple things like how to do their laundry in therapy, because they've been missing that their whole life.
How old? And then 21?
Yeah, 18 to 21. Complete lack of knowledge how to be self-reliant.
This is the core of a breakdown of society. I was just saying to Nelson, because obviously Nelson's doing memory, trying to help people increase their memory. But society's going completely the opposite way. We're all about short attention spans. We're all about 5 quick 10-second videos, quick funny cat videos, quick funny and move on to the next one, or it's on a dating app and it's left, right, and swipe. It's nothing's about like this. So few people would spend 7 days walking up and coming back down.
Yep, not at all.
If it was, an afternoon's activity, more people would do it. But it's the shortness of time that people are now getting into.
And it's not only time, it's the chemical gratification too. Think of how much of what we do and what we're doing is completely based upon that concept of immediate satisfaction, of immediate dopamine release in your brain. What do you think casinos hire psychologists? Everything is engineered to make you happy immediately, to be flashy and stimulating and enjoyable. When, the process of getting here, it takes work. To me, this is stimulating to my well-being, to my soul. Visually, it's enjoyable. I mean, that's brilliant. You can't get better than that.
I'm hoping that you got the top edge of that now. The sun is kissing the top.
I mean, there just aren't words, but it's like you said, how many people are just used to experiencing your life in small segments, and to dedicate the time and work to get here, to see this, and more than just decide to stand there and take a picture to post for future gratification of somebody else approving of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's this Facetune thing, I think, is just abhorrent. You've heard of this?
No.
So an app on your phone, you can take a selfie and then it automatically photoshops you. It basically just blurs out lines and stuff like that. But this is the way society is going. And so surely the problems that we've got now are only going to get 10 times worse as that wave of dissatisfied youth comes up. Oh God, I've forgotten her name. She's got 2 fucking degrees. She said she can't get a job without 2 degrees now in this country, in America. Yeah. It just seems odd that you have to have that much education, you have to go into that much debt to get a decent job.
Yeah.
Most people won't do that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely.
So your job, looking ahead, is going to be fraught with. Well, you're going to be bloody busy.
I hope so. I mean, busy in a way that still lets me escape to the world like this, but...
And are you only ever dealing with problems, or are you also looking at positive sides?
There's also positive sides. I mean...
She said, shaking her head. There's also positive sides.
Actually, good call out on my body language there. I'd be doing that. But, some people come into therapy because they really do feel like just something's holding them back, and
this whole idea of therapy, it seems very American. It seems like, oh yeah, no, I see a therapist once a week. It's very vogue to... I've got friends who are married immediately into couples therapy.
Oh, that's bizarre. Yeah, I don't... See, it's weird that you say that, because on the other hand, there is the idea of overcoming stigma, which I still think that is a very realistic concern. So you have kind of like that group of people who's like, therapy, like I can afford it. This is something you do. And they idolize it as just kind of like a social right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, okay, the gym is where I work on my muscles. Therapy is where I'm going to work on my soul or something like that.
Because everyone's got problems. Everybody wants to be a victim.
Oh my God.
Now.
Everybody has problems. That's true. We're all crazy on some spectrum in our own little way. But we can't negate the fact that stigma is still there, and how real an issue that is too, that a lot of people who should be in that room, especially think of things like military, police officers, firefighters who've experienced true trauma, but because it's not really in the creed of their brotherhood to seek out help, that idea is repressed for them. So there's two sides to that.
So this is where, I'm jumping subjects, but there was, I saw a video the other day of this yogi, absolutely fucking pissed at all the yoga that's going on in the world, because it's absolutely decimated what the core of yoga is about. It's not about being hot, it's not about being hip hop, it's not about all these different variations. It's about, praying to Shivananda or whatever. But he's pissed off with the
great Hindi there. Or whatever it was supposed to be. Shivananda. That's who I was thinking of on that rock over there when I lost track of time.
Right.
Shivananda.
Yeah. But it's like therapy has become, and this is, therapy has, let me finish that thought and then I'll move to that. Therapy has become fashionable amongst those bitch type from Sex and the City.
Possibly.
Or, well, that's the only fucking...
But then what's wrong with that, though?
Because they're not the ones that need the therapy.
Yeah, but the ones who need the therapy aren't coming in anyway.
They're not the ones that are shooting up schools or shooting into concerts or... whatever it is, the ones that have a massive effect on other people, they're the ones that need to be...
So do you think that the bitchy type engaging in therapy, which I'm never going to turn anyone away from trying to better themselves, of course, but do you think that... do you think that them being kind of the main demographic as you see it, engaging in therapy, gives it more of a bad look?
Yes. For people who are genuine, so like the firefighters, the police officers, the people who are coming back. This is the other question I've got, for you. Why is there so much post-traumatic stress?
PTSD.
Wars today, there's no hand-to-hand combat. It's all missiles and shooting from afar. You go back to the Civil War, you go back to First World War. They were bayoneting people in the chest, and they were chopping hands off and heads and... But the rate of PTSD that's coming back now from these wars in Afghanistan and so on is through the roof. Mm-hmm. And I heard a theory on it that it's trendy.
Well, I mean, it's more well known as a thing to claim to have, or to...
Benefits?
Claiming to have, saying that word makes me uncomfortable because...
What, claiming?
Yeah, because what if people in older wars were truly experiencing these things, but what was the metric for us to record that?
Well, then this goes on to the next one, which is young kids. What do they have? ADHD. So the rates of ADHD that are now recorded, it's almost every single child has
Most of the
ADHD.
time, that's just bad parenting.
Exactly, but then they drug them up to slow them down. I mean,
Basically with medical cocaine, too, which really bothers me.
is that what it is?
Ritalin, yes.
Medical cocaine. Ritalin's medical cocaine. See, we're just pumping drugs into these.
Don't even get me onto the drugs rant. But
oh, come on! Yeah, I've just been going on to Nelson about iodine and fluoride in the water.
Oh.
Because iodine is proven to increase brain function by 15%. Proven.
Okay. I'll just accept.
Just accept my statistic. Look it up. Even CNN, even Wikipedia.
I'm one of those people who will nod and then research later.
Good. Yes, absolutely.
So.
I'm very confident with my number because I've done the research. So go on, drugs. So when you get these people in for the therapy session, and then you just riddle them out with downers, uppers.
I don't. That's why I'm a PsyD.
But you're still in college.
Yes, I'm still finishing
you're gonna have
out.
Drug companies come to you and say,
No,
right.
even when I'm done, no. My degree is purely clinical from a non-pharmaceutical aspect.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the reasons I actually went this direction is because I didn't want to fall back on that. I'm not saying that all medication is bad. I think there is appropriate medication, but just like you said with the ADHD, oftentimes I struggled really hard with the concept of pediatric psychology because in our family clinic, most of the time it's parents coming in being like, my child is a nightmare. I can't handle them. Do your assessment. I want this prescription. It worked on my friend's kid. And all it is any pediatric psychology, you're not treating the child, you're treating the family. And often when you're sitting down and you're assessing this child, they're fine. They don't have diagnosable ADHD. It's just they've shit parents.
My brother's kid, they pulled, he's like 3 now, and hyperactive, as most kids should be. You know, running around, wanting, at school, he keeps pretending to be Spider-Man.
It's normal.
They want to put him on Ritalin because they say he's got a problem. My brother flipped out, was just like, this is what kids do. Your job is to make sure he doesn't hurt himself or anybody else.
Yeah.
And they just wanted him on drugs just to make their lives easier.
Yep, and people think that, especially with ADHD, it's like, my kid doesn't listen to me, but he'll sit and, do this activity forever. ADHD, a child who truly suffers from this, they can't focus on anything in their life. It's truly disrupting and distressing to them. It's not just that they don't want to sit and fold laundry or something like that. That's ridiculous. And any kid wants to go off and explore. I was a nightmare for my parents. I know that for a fact. I'd jump out of windows and
like
just...
Still like me.
I mean, they're probably not that stoked that I'm here right now, but
they
actually,
do know you're here, right?
Yes, they do.
You sent them a quick email before you left.
No, I saw them both. My dad definitely said he was not pleased with me, but
Not pleased with you?
no, he didn't want me to come.
This is a girl who goes off motorbiking by herself, lean-to tent, and just does it, then goes and shoots a deer, skins it, guts it.
He's never happy
Tries
about
it
that
out.
either, but he did teach me how to hunt, so
Yeah.
that's on him.
Well, that's one thing. My brother and I, who I do this show with, we're very annoyed. Not so much at our father, but for England and the system in England. England is so controlled. And the great thing about America is, you can have guns, which does... You can agree whether people should have guns or shouldn't have guns, but you have the right to own a gun.
Yeah.
And that in itself gives that country the freedom which its citizens enjoy. And so that means you can go hunting in the woods, you can go climbing mountains, you can go and do all the things that in Europe it's so, I wouldn't say Nazi-like, but because it is basically the European Parliament and the UN is driven by Germany, and it pretty
But you
much
just
is.
don't have the choice.
No, but America just is. You don't have the choice, exactly. But America, because I don't know. I don't know if it's the size of America or it's just the American spirit. It's just great to be able to be more outdoorsy.
Outdoorsy.
So my brother and I, we've never hunted. I mean, I don't think I've actually killed anything myself.
Have you ever swatted a fly?
Killed a couple of fish.
Fish? There you
Yeah, I've been fishing a lot.
go. You savage, you.
I had to get the goldfish out the other day. Not kidding, I did gut and pluck a duck once. But these are typist hands. The guys I know in South Florida, their fingers are like twice the size of mine. They're proper man's hands. I shook a man's hand, but this is what I do when I shake a man's hand, and I was like, oh! And, these are real men, and then they've got another man stroking them, and they just, calluses and big fat digits. That's what a man should be, not a fucking little.
No, you
So
you
my
can
brother
still
and I
be a
want to
man.
take this show and do more things like hunting and diving and this and stuff like that to show,
Manly things.
manly stuff. Yeah.
I'll teach you how to shoot.
I know how to shoot.
Okay.
It's amazing. You go to a gun range,
Yeah.
gun
Give him
bullets.
$10 for a gun
What do I do?
rental.
You put the bullets in here and the gun goes in the cartridge. Don't point it at anybody. All right. Can I have the shotgun?
Sure. Yep.
I agree. That's Dane, but that's great that it's still that cowboyish, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. We won't take up any more time. We're climbing up there tomorrow.
Oh my gosh, it's just getting better.
Yeah.
Holy crap. But now I have all these things like Vietnam War veterans and drugs in my head. I need to look at this more.
Oh, Lord. Well, thank you for being on our show.
Thanks for having me.
Next episode, featurette will be
Up there.
way up there somewhere. We can't even see the view, can we?
No, because we're going up and all around.
Hopefully fine.